In the later half of version 2.5, we are introduced with a new fire character, Lingsha, another dragon lady who also a fire abundant, whose kit revolve around healing, cleansing, having follow-up attack, all in the form of her pet, Fuyuan, as well having good toughness break and boosting break damage. Now let's go over her ability. Lingsha's main ability is her talent. When using her skill, Lingsha can summon Fuyuan to the field with a base speed of 90 and the initial action count of 3. When taking action, Fuyuan would deal AoE fire follow-up attack damage to all enemy, plus 1 instant of fire damage to a random enemy. This attack prioritizes a non-break enemy with fire weakness. Fuyuan will also heal and dispel 1 debuff for all allies, but Fuyuan heals and damage are based on Lingsha attack. There's a few points to note about the interaction between Lingsha and Fuyuan. Fuyuan would not be available at the start of the battle and need to be summoned by Lingsha's skill or technique. If Fuyuan is already on the field when Lingsha uses skill, Fuyuan's action count will be increased by 3 and the maximum action count Fuyuan can have is 5. If Lingsha is knocked down or the action count reaches 0, Fuyuan would disappear. Fuyuan can still perform action when Lingsha is CC. Lingsha's basic attack deals fire damage to a single enemy. Lingsha's skill deals AoE fire damage to all enemies and heal all allies based on her attack. Fuyuan's action will be advanced by 20%. Lingsha's ultimate will deal AoE fire damage to all enemies and heal all allies. Fuyuan's action now will be advanced by 100%. Her ultimate also inflicts the B-Fog debuff to all enemies for 2 turns, which increases break damage taken by 25% at level 10. For Lingsha technique, she will summon Fuyuan at the start of the battle and inflict the B-Fog debuff to all enemies for 2 turns. For Lingsha first trace, if an ally falls below 60% after taking damage or consume HP, Fuyuan would immediately launch the talent follow-up attack. This did not consume Fuyuan's current action order and did not consume any action count. This trace can be triggered once every 2 turns. The second trace gives her 10 more energy when she uses a basic attack. This makes her basic attack and skill get the same amount of energy. Lingsha's final trace increases her attack by 25% and outgoing healing by 10% of her break effect. This increased to a maximum of 50% for attack, 25% for healing, so this trace maxes out when Lingsha has 200% break effect. A minor trace gives a total of 37 break effect, 10% HP and 10% attack. Lingsha's kits at a sustain look quite versatile. There are 3 team comps she has really good synergy with that I want to highlight. First, being a fire unit that boosts break damage while also having good toughness break damage because how frequent she and Fuyuan attack. Naturally, she will have great synergy with break team comp, especially with Firefly since she can apply fire weakness to enemy. Lingsha also benefits from the speed and the break effect buff from Ranmei, helping her to meet her speed requirement and fill out her final trace. Harmony Trailblazer will allow her to do super break damage and also boost her break effect. Another DPS who will also love the break damage taken increase debuff that Lingsha can give to the enemy is Boot Heal. Hanmar can assign Lingsha as her Sifu and enabling her to do fire toughness damage while gaining more stack from Lingsha and Fuyuan frequent attack. Second, Lingsha has follow-up attack in the form of Fuyuan. This means she's the only 5-star assassin in the game besides Aventurine to have follow-up attack in their kit. This opens the option for her to work with other follow-up attack unit. Characters like Topaz will love to have more follow-up attack in the team to maximize Numpy action event. Fei Xiao who can get more ult stack from Lingsha and Fuyuan frequent attack, and Robin who can add damage to each attack from Lingsha and Fuyuan. Lastly, Lingsha kits also contain a lot of AoE damage, perfect for game mode like Perfection, especially where enemy has fire weakness. Lingsha will be a perfect support for Himiko, helping her break fire weak enemy and gain follow-up attack charge. Lingsha can also be a great debt collector for Jade, gaining her more stack for every AoE attack she does. With good synergy with so many characters, Lingsha is definitely going to be a valuable character going forward. A simple way to play Lingsha is to base her action on Fuyuan action count. Summon Fuyuan with Lingsha technique at the start of the battle with 3 initial action count. When Fuyuan has more than one action count, use Lingsha basic attack to generate a skill point for the team. When Fuyuan action reaches 1, use Lingsha skill to replenish it. At 150 speed, you can reliably use a 3-turn rotation of 2 basic attack and 1 skill with using your ultimate whenever it's available. With this rotation, Lingsha can generate 1 skill point every 3 turns. If you have less than 150 speed, you will generate less skill point the longer the battle goes, so 150 is a good speed breakpoint to aim for. Lingsha will have an ultimate available after every third action if you have 60% energy recharge or more. You can easily achieve this with an energy rope or a light cone like post-operation compensation, so energy will never be an issue for her. Lingsha ultimate will advance Fuyuan by 100%, so before you use her ultimate, make sure to pay attention to Fuyuan's current action order. If Fuyuan is about to act, save your ult and use it after to give Fuyuan another action. In content like Perfection or when pairing with Jade, you might want to use Lingsha's skill more for more AoE attack. Lingsha Relic can change depending on which team she in. For break team, she can use 4-piece Iron Cavalry for more break effect and super break damage, combined with 2-piece Kalpagni when used against enemy with fire weakness or when used in a team with Firefly. The 6% speed bonus here also help her meet her desired speed. If enemy don't have fire weakness, the better choice would be 2-piece Talia, but farming for 145 speed will be more difficult. For non-break team, you can use a more general build with 2-piece break effect plus 2-piece speed bonus for relic, and you can keep 2-piece Talia for planner or use a more supported set like Broken Kill or Fleet of the Ageless. Besides the standard relic option, there's also 4-piece Eagle, which give 25% action advance when you use your ultimate. This can give Lingsha more action and is a good set if you pair her with Fei Xiao. For main stat, you always want to go for speed boost, outgoing healing for body, and attack percent for orb. For robe, if your LC already has built-in energy recharge, you can go for break effect bonus. If not, you will need to go for energy recharge, making sure you have that 2-turn ultimate rotation. We discussed this more at the LC section of this video. For substat, you should aim to get as much speed as possible till 150, then aim for more break effect and then attack. An OK build Lingsha should look a bit like this. There is also a discussion going on about building crit on Lingsha since the damage part of her kit is very similar to that of an erudition character. It's a niche build, so I don't recommend farming for an entire new DPS set for her, but you can swap existing artifact from other DPS to her and test out her damage. Maybe it might make a difference in content like Perfection. For crit Lingsha, you can try 4-piece Valorous or 2-piece Duke plus 2-piece attack percent bonus, and for planner, you can try 2-piece Duran or 2-piece Banana. The main stat for crit Lingsha are speed boot, crit body, attack percent or energy recharge on rope, and fire damage bonus on orb. For 5-star option, the best LC for Lingsha is a signature. It gives her 60% break effect, pretty much guaranteeing her to hit 200% break effect breakpoint. It also applies a 80% damage taken increase debuff on enemy whenever she ult for 2 turns. With this LC, you will need an energy recharge rope. Another good option is Locha LC. This LC gives her attack percent and extra energy on hit. Also, it increases all ally speed whenever she ult. With this LC, she doesn't need an energy recharge rope. Lastly, she can use Ho-Ho LC. This LC only gives her 12% energy recharge, but it won't be enough for 3-turn order, but it does increase her healing capability and increase the entire team attack, so it's not a bad option. For 4-star LC, the best option is post-operation compensation. At S5, it will give her 60% energy recharge. It's perfect for 3-turn order, so now she can use a break effect rope instead. If you don't have post-operation compensation maxed out, a safe option will be What is Real LC. At S5, it will give her 48% break effect. Some more supported LC options are Quid pro quo, this LC gives the team more energy and can be good when used with Firefly to help her get to that 50% energy mark, or with Robin, who is extremely energy hungry. The tweeter option LC multiplication can also be used when pairing Lingsha with Facial. It gives Lingsha 20% action advance after using basic attack, which can turn into more action. If you're building Crit Lingsha, Locha LC will be the good option on her. It gives her more attack and energy. Or you can use her signature because it's reduced enemy defense. Now let's look over her Eidolon to see if any of them are worth your investment. Her first Eidolon increased her weakness break efficiency by 50% and reduced 20% defense of break enemy. This is really good for break team, especially with Firefly. Her second Eidolon increased 40% break effect for all ally whenever she ult. It's another Eidolon that focuses on boosting for break team. Her fourth Eidolon gave her an extra heal for the ally with the lowest HP when Fuyuan take action. As an E4, this Eidolon is quite underwhelming. Her final Eidolon reduced enemy all-type resistance by 20%, and Fuyuan now deal additional 4 instant of damage to a random enemy. Each has 5 toughness reduction and prioritize on non-break fire weakness enemy. This one is also focused on boosting break team and further increase Lingsha toughness reduction and Fuyuan attack. You could say it also boosts crit Lingsha damage. Should you go for Lingsha Eidolon? Lingsha E1 is very powerful for Firefly team and when facing fire weakness enemy, but outside of that is value for all. Her E2 and E4 are both very underwhelming for its cost and not worth your investment. If you want to go for her Eidolon, I recommend going for the first one. What about Lingsha E1 and S1? Which one is better? Lingsha E1 is only good when face fire weakness enemy, while her S1 provide a much more stable 80% damage taken debuff, which is generally good for every team comp, so I recommend getting her S1 over her E1. Why do I think Lingsha will be the best sustain in the game? The two most used sustain in the game at the moment are Aventurine and Gallagher. The reason why they are so strong is because besides sustaining your team, they also bring their own utility and damage. For Aventurine, it is follow-up attack, and for Gallagher, is it break and break damage. If we combine these two, we will have Lingsha. She could do both of the things good enough or even better than the other two, which no doubt will make her a very valuable character. Now I will note some example of Lingsha team comp. And that will be the end. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching and bye bye.